One of the questions we often come across when we're talking about the marker extension is, well, can't Google just do that? Can't you just find it in Google? Or if you have access to ChatGPT itself, well, can't we just ask questions to ChatGPT and get that response? Now, here's the thing about both of those environments. They are an exploratory entry point. They are not the destination. They're there to help you get to the destination. For example, in Google, I looked up New York City restaurants and I have a slew of results. And the thing that's important to note also, especially Google, they're going to push sponsored results because they pay money for those ads. And you still have to curate the information. And although ChatGPT, because of its conversational nature, will give you a much better response, getting you closer to that destination you want, you still have to curate. You still have to think about the prompt itself and how to craft the prompt to make sure that it's going to get you closer to whatever the response is that you're looking for. And by the way, on ChatGPT, it's important to note that these two versions here are different. This is a paid version of ChatGPT 4. I believe it costs $20 a month. So it's worth bearing in mind that there is a financial commitment to using ChatGPT 4. And although Marker does have models that you have to pay for, uh, our models start at $7, and then there's also a $12 model that allow you to use ChatGPT 4. So already it's giving you a cost savings. Now, the good thing about using Google or ChatGPT is you can still use Marker within here. So for example, if I highlight this result from Google search, I click there, name the top 3. And you'll see that's also helping you to curate even when you're using Google search. And I'll provide a similar query, natural language query inside of ChatGPT. Let it do its thing. Once again, bear in mind this is version 4, 20 bucks a month. And also bear in mind that because of the large language model that this sits on, that it will sometimes take a hot minute for you to get your response. So right now, I'm twiddling my thumbs waiting for ChatGPT or to actually work. And I'm looking for a restaurant. I'm kind of hungry. I don't want to wait. And so while I receive my resultant within ChatGPT, and it's, as I said, for me anyway, it's a much better result than using Google search because it's actually doing what Marker does in a slightly different way. But as I mentioned before, I had to wait for this a little bit. I actually had to refresh it in order to get the answer I wanted. Now, one of the key differentiators in using Marker as opposed to search or ChatGPT or using ChatGPT to get to your endpoint. In this example, I'm on Morning Brew on an article about recession, which means I'm at the place that I was looking to be. And so what will happen is, let's say I want to highlight this block of copy around recession information, 2008. Uh, by virtue of highlighting any block of copy, what I'm telling or training the bot in real time is to isolate and focus any queries I make just on that highlighted text. And what that does is it funnels and reduces the amount of back-end work the bot has to do in order to create a result. And it also makes the result very specific to that, which empowers the user when they find this kind of content to isolate the thing they want to focus on in terms of the response they want. So for example, I may say, what were the upsides? And what it's doing, it's looking at the highlighted text, it's looking at the web page, and in doing so, it actually is also limiting the amount of data that it has to look at to generate a response. And that does a few things. One, it allows the actual article or piece of content that the user is on the ability to just look at the content that's there that very likely will be germane to the response. And what the bot also does is once it feels it's satisfied enough of the scrape for that particular web page, in later iterations, we'll have it look at the entire website. But in this current iteration, what it also does do, if it doesn't feel that it satisfied the response because perhaps there wasn't enough relevant content to provide a response, it'll actually then look to the information that particular bot was trained on, whether it's version 3.5 or GPT 4.0. It'll actually then look there, but it will still funnel that data analysis and response to that highlighted piece of text and the core query.